Hello, hello, hello. Um, Twitch says there are two viewers. Thanks for joining me. If you feel like saying in the chat your history with game dev and what you're interested to see, that would be awesome so I can know who's watching. Otherwise, I'm about to get started. I'm making a multiplayer tank battle game today. The last bunch of streams I've been doing a multiplayer PONG game, so I've been learning about multiplayer, but it's PONG, so it's not like a super fun game. So my goal for today is to try and make a multiplayer game that's actually fun. And so battle tanks. I've done a tiny bit of prep work. I found this asset pack from the famous Kenny NL top-down tanks redo, which looks like it'll be perfect. I don't think I'll actually need any other assets, at least not visual ones. And I made a project on GitLab where the code will be, and I set up GitLab CI to build Linux, Mac, and Windows builds automatically whenever I commit. And I did some basic like pixel configuration I always do in Godot when I'm doing pixel games. And I sliced up this tile set and put some tiles down just to get started. So that's all I got so far. I also started a little to-do with kind of the vague order that I'm going to do things in. I'm going to make a controllable player tank. I'm going to add the connection UI to say, hey, I'm the server, or hey, I want to connect to a server. Put in the kind of like lobby logic to wait for 4 people to connect. I'm going to kind of do like each player goes in the 4 corners is my idea so far. And then add like bullets, health, and damage so the tanks can actually fight. Have some kind of loop to declare a winner and let people restart. And then that's kind of like the minimum basics. And then I want to try to add some things that make the game actually fun. So like adding cover. Otherwise, like I don't know how you play this game and have fun because your tanks just get within range of each other and you both can hit each other. And how's anyone gonna win? So that's like the bare minimum interesting thing. And then maybe some power ups. Like some power-ups to replenish health, so you start getting beat up and you go run to grab the health power-up. Maybe some kind of like speed boost thing. You could pick up a bunch of those so you can like run in, shoot a bunch of times, and then speed boost out of there. Maybe some different kind of bullets. I don't know. Everything after this line is in a lot of ways wishful thinking. But I have most of the day to work on this. So that is my plan. Let me just quick turn down my radio. I have radio going into my headphones, and it's maybe a little too loud. All right. Cool. So next thing is making a tank. So I'm going to make a scene. It'll be a kinematic body, because I'm going to want to control this. Not the 3D kinematic body, the other kinematic body. Let's change type. Kinematic body 2D. And we're going to add a sprite. Sprite 2D. No, our sprite's always 2D. I guess so. Sprite. And the texture is going to be this objects texture from the Kenny pack. And I need to select a region. How do I get to the nice region selection? Here it is. There's the nice region selection. And I think I'm going to make this first tank. So I like working from the sprite sheet because it's nice to see all the things at once, but it also makes it a little hard to make sense of all the stuff that's here. I'm going to also load up just like a bunch of thumbnails. Hang on a second. Assets. No, I don't have it here. Where do I have just the images? Yeah, here's where I extracted. All right, here's all the things. I know that I want the ones with outlines. I was looking at this before, and like some of them have outlines and some of them don't. Why is that not working? There we go. So what is this one? Yeah, I need to find like these outline ones on the sprite sheets. I think this one is. Here, we'll zoom in. Grab this blue one to start with. Here, how do I turn on pixel snap? Pixel snap. Looks about right. Let's see the sprite, zoom in here. All right, so we have the, we'll call this body sprite. We'll rename the root node to tank. We're also going to need a turret sprite. Turret sprite. Grab the objects. And we're going to need to, again, do the region. And where is the blue outlined turret? I think that's this one. Doesn't feel like pixel snaps. That feels like subpixels. I guess this is a really big texture. Yeah, I should get really close up on this huge texture. It's like 128 by 128 pixel for the tiles. I'm used to working with like 16 by 16 tile sets. Sorry, I got distracted by a work message. I'm not zoning out. Region enabled. There we go. And we need to move this turret. Or how do we move the center of the turret? Or do I need to put a point down? And then I think there's a thing I can do, like a, yeah, not centered. How do I move this point? Yeep. Okay, let's just put an offset in manually. I don't know, 50 pixels. Oh, wrong direction. Negative 20 pixels. Negative 10 pixels. Negative 15 pixels. Negative 12 pixels. I wish I could just drag that. Why can't I just drag that? Do I gotta... Yeah. I want to change the rotation pivot. That's like literally exactly what I'm trying to do. Okay. Get rid of that. Unselect that. Okay. Normal select. Normal select. Alright, and we'll put this right here. So we can rotate the turret. What is that red? Oh, I must have accidentally got some red crap on the side. Let me go back to this region edit here. Okay, and then I'm going to try rotating the turret, make sure it looks right. Where is rotation? That's transform, rotation degrees. That's good enough. I mean, it's not exactly centered, but it's good enough. The position 0, 0. Let me just adjust this a tiny bit. Good enough. So we have the body sprite, the turret sprite, And now we need to, oh, I need a collision shape. Cubical collision shape. I don't know why I want the collision shape at the top, but that feels right to me. This is going to be just a straight rectangle. Oh, I can't see it because, oh, so I wanted it at the beginning for vague reasons, and then I guess I see now why it would be better not there. Good enough. Oh, I want this whole thing to be oriented in the other direction because rotation origin in Godot is pointed to the right. So let me rotate this body sprite. Transform, rotation. Hang on. Okay, we go back to 0. I've gone too far. Gone too far. 0. We want to go. So that way's the front. Let's get this front all the way over here. What is basic math? That is my problem always. 90 times 3, 270. Okay. There we go. And let's get the turret rotated. Same deal. 270. And perfect. That is the basis of our tank. Does the collision box still work? Yeah. And we will add a script to control it. And I want this tank to work both for the player-controlled tank and the not player-controlled tank. So I think I'm going to have a variable, say export player-controlled equals, we'll start with false. Everything will always start with false. Although starting with true will make this easier to test. I'll start as true for now, and we will, why are you yelling at me? Export var. I have to put var in here somewhere. Where does the var go? Let's start over. var, player controlled. It's yelling at me about this. Okay, player controlled. And then we'll do the input logic there, but let me just quick figure out this export. Is that right? Or not int, but cool. All right, to do player controlled, we're going to need to set some input stuff. So we're going to have player turn left, player turn right, player forward, player backward. And then we're going to bind some stuff to these. So left is going to be A and the left arrow key. Right is going to be D. Also, for my own sanity, it is going to be whatever key falls on D on my keyboard. I don't type on a US keyboard. And then right, and then forward is going to be W, my W, which I guess is a comma, and up arrow key, and backward is going to be S, S on my keyboard, and the down arrow key. Cool. So in here we'll say if input is action pressed, let's start with the turning. All right, hang on. Need a couple more variables to get going here. Let's do var velocity. Just going to be a vector 2. We need some kind of turn speed, which I guess is going to be is that an integer or float? I guess we'll say it's an integer, and I don't know, make up some random number, 10. And then we'll want normal kind of speed. Sure, 10 also. Well, I don't know, we want it to be faster or whatever it's going to be. We'll say 50. So turning left, we're not going to mess with the velocity. Or, hang on, I can do this simpler, velocity. And nitpick my own code for a moment. So for turning, we're just going to mess with the rotation. Do we want to just move by a fixed amount according to the speed? Probably. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Rotation. So turning left, we're moving negative. So that would be negative. Turn speed. Oh, and 10 is huge if this is just like straight up radians. So hang on. Let's make like a small number times turn speed times delta. We'll say if input is action pressed, player turn right, and then we're going to turn positive times turn speed times delta. And that should just rotate us. Let's just try the scene and see if that does what we want. Nope, something weird's going on. Parse error, expected at end of line. Oh, yep. Yep. Oof. Well, that's not what we want here. Okay, maybe just do turn speed without my weird modifier here. Oh, I'm saying equals, plus equals, plus equals. Okay, so let's try that. That was probably the whole problem, actually. Ooh, and 10 actually isn't bad. I mean, that feels fast for a tank, but it's not like astronomical like I was worried about with the units. We can try 5. Yeah, that feels like a tank. And then if input is action pressed, player forward, we will then mess with the velocity. So velocity is going to equal, we're going to make a vector 2 that's facing in the base direction of the tank. We're going to rotate it by our tank's rotation. And multiply it by the speed, right? That's enough. Oh, and the delta. By speed and the delta. Or actually, probably shouldn't be multiplying by the delta because we want move and slide. Should we be resetting the vector every time? Resetting the velocity every time? Probably. Velocity equals vector 2. And then we'll do, what is the difference between going forward and backward? Do I rotate it again? Is that what I do? Rotate it in the negative rotation? We only want forward or backward to work. by the negative speed. Does that make sense? Let's try it. Da, 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 da. Well, that's not working at all. Oh, I forgot to put the move in slide. Move and slide. Yeah, I only care about linear velocity here. Oh, that is painfully slow, even for a tank. Okay, well, you're gonna need to move faster. 100. That's a little better. Tanks aren't fast, so. All right. And now we need to have the turret follow the mouse. So I learned a trick for this watching a video last night, and which I've never done. I've always done like the subtracting the vectors to do this, but there is this look at method that blows my mind that it exists. Like I did 5 lines of math last time I implemented this, and there's just a look at method. Godot's got me covered. But okay, how do I get the global mouse position? Global mouse, get global mouse position. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it's wrong because the sprite isn't oriented in the right direction. So I'm able to move the rotation point. Can I rotate the rotation point? That would actually be quite useful. Rotate mode. Change object's rotation pivot. Can I make its rotation pivot be different? Okay, hang on. I'm going to unrotate here, and then I'm going to see if I can rotate the rotation pivot. No, that just adjusts the normal. Ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, is this? No. Okay, I think I'm going to need to do 2 nodes here. I think I'm going to need to do like a turret hub and a turret sprite, because I don't know how to reset the like initial direction of the sprite. So I'm going to make a position 2D, reverse this hierarchy though. So this can be turret hub, and so the turret hub is going to be normal, and this one's going to be rotated 270 degrees. And then I'm going to rotate the turret hub in the script. Turret hub. Let's try that. Yeah, that's looking at the mouse. My God. Look at method. That's all I was missing the last time I had to implement a look at the mouse thing. Wow. Well, he moves around nice. It's an interesting like visual artifact when it turns. I wonder if like the rendering mode is causing that. Like, see how jagged it is along the tank? I'm gonna first let me just look at how these imported. So with filter off, yeah, that seems fine. I turned on in the renderer, I turned on like the pixel snap, which I wonder, because I'm dealing with such big graphics, if that's actually negative at this point. It looks nicer when I'm using like my 16 by 16 tiles, but let's just try that. No. Still get those artifacts along the edge. That is supremely distracting. I wonder if so like I imported these the way I usually import, this 2D pixels. I wonder if I import it with just normal 2D. Usually that like blurs stuff and I don't like it, but maybe because we're dealing with such big... That actually is better. Okay. I'll leave the blur on the objects, that like extra filter, and I can always turn it off again later. Because like I still see the artifacts a little bit, but like not nearly as bad as before. Before it kind of seemed like the whole tank was wobbling, like a wave of, I don't know, something going through it. All right, we'll stick with this for now. Where does that leave us on our to-do here? So we made a controllable tank. We need a connection UI. So I'm going to make this as ugly as possible. Be ready. I'm going to make a canvas layer. I still haven't learned like how to do proper UIs in Godot, so this is going to be janky. This is going to be really bad. Here, where's my screen? The markers for the screen. Oh, there we go. Need to zoom out a little more. Okay, so that's the whole screen. I'm going to call this connection screen. And we need a bunch of labels. I guess let's just duplicate this. And we're going to need a host label. And is it cheating if I just copy the connection screen from the battle Pong? I think probably it is. I'm just going to remake it. Host label, port label. And we need a couple of, what are those called? Line edit, yeah. We need a couple of line edits. We'll need host and another one of those. Port. And we'll need some buttons. Two buttons. We'll need a serve button and a connect button. So I'll need to grab a font. I'll just steal the font asset from Battle Pong. I'm going to copy the credits first so I don't totally forget to do that. I usually put the credits in a README. Here we go. And copy my usual font. Yeah, I guess all of these, I think. I'll just copy the whole fonts folder. And I'll probably need to edit this font because I'm just dealing in a much larger resolution. Where is this font? Size. It's gonna be like 60. I don't know if that's gonna be right, but we will try it. So we get out of the rotate tool, get back to the normal tool. We need this to say, I grabbed the line edit accidentally. Okay, this will say host, and this will say port. We'll set the fonts on these. Lots and lots of fonts to set. Nope, cancel. Set in fonts. And the buttons need fonts too. Someone in my Battle Pong stream said that there's a way to get like all the controls if you're doing like a proper UI to inherit the parent font, and I should really learn how to do that. But for today, we just need this one UI, and I'm just gonna plow through it. All right. 60 might even be still a little small here, but we'll roll with it. This is the host line edit. This is the port line edit. In host, we're going to have this default to localhost. In port, we're going to have it default to 112233. Sounds good. Ooh, why isn't this like expanding to fit the... That's just plain weird. What's the size on this one? I'll just copy it. Is 358 240. Oh, that's the position. Ah, that's not what I wanted to copy. I wanted to copy the size. 286.58. Okay, we'll kind of eyeball these because I don't really care that much. And then let's get these buttons. Serve, which will go here, maybe here. And connect. That seems good enough. Maybe I'll move it up here a little bit because I didn't do any of the things to do like sane layouts. So I think if someone has a smaller screen, if I had it in the middle, like it could just get cut off. So I'm just gonna kind of keep it in that upper left corner. All right, so this needs some script. We are going to declare some signals. Signal connect, signal serve, probably reverse the order of that. And let's connect some signals for those buttons. And then we'll just kind of like echo the signals back out, but with more info. So we'll do pressed on serve. Yeah, looks good. And we'll do emit, signal, connect, and serving only needs the port. So we're going to cast the value of the port line edit, not value. Oh, text. I'm thinking, yeah, they're always text. No, I will let Godot write the, did I just do connect or serve? Serve. So I shouldn't do connect. I'm getting myself all twisted up here. Serve, 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 serve. All right. Connect, pressed. Create this on connect pressed. Thank you, Godot. And I will emit the other signal. Connect. And we're going to take the host text, and we're going to again convert that port text to an integer and pass it back up. Yeah, looks fine to me. Let's go back to the main scene. We are going to put the, no, wrong thing. I'm gonna instance the connection screen scene, so it'll just lay over the scene here. I forgot that you can't make canvas layers invisible or visible, so maybe this shouldn't be a canvas layer. I just did this, man. So maybe this should just be a node 2D with a canvas layer in it. Let's do that. We'll change this to a node 2D. We'll add canvas layer. And we're going to put all this inside the canvas layer. And that's going to mess up my script, because this now has to be canvas layer. Okay, so what that allows me to do is over here in the main script, I now have this eyeball. So I can hide and show the visibility of the connection screen, which appears to actually not be doing anything. What the heck? Okay, so maybe I need a canvas layer in the main scene. All right. So this will stay in Node 2D. These will go over here. Get rid of this canvas layer. Save you. Go back to main. This is now just a plain node, which will hide and show, but that's not actually what we want, because it will move, or it won't move. It'll stay with the camera, and we want this to be on a canvas layer so it doesn't move with the camera. Canvas layer. All right, reverse this. We want the connection screen to be inside the canvas layer. So now I can hide and show this connection screen, which I will need to be able to do. Because yeah, we're doing the connection UI and then we're placing the players. So there needs to be another part of this. The connection screen. So one part of this is that the player who's serving it gets to decide when the match actually starts. So they start serving, up to 4 people connect, but if only 2 people connect, they should be able to just say start. And does that need to be part of the connection screen, or is that going to be like part of the HUD? I generally put like with the restart game stuff in the HUD. So maybe I will put that in the HUD, because starting the game and restarting the game are kind of the same thing. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So let's just quick make the beginning of a HUD. That is going to be a canvas layer for real. Call it, oops, not hub, HUD. So all we need in this HUD for now is I usually have a message. So put a label in here, call it message, and we'll put the font on it. Custom fonts. And we'll put some kind of message in here to start with. Maybe like waiting for players. And we'll use a little bit of layout. And we'll put that at the I guess top wide, and maybe we'll adjust it a little bit. We'll center it, and I'll mess with the margins to just push it down a little bit. 50 pixels? 100 pixels? That seems fine to me. And then we'll put some buttons in the actual center. And it'll just be kind of like a multi-purpose button, I guess. Or should I put multiple buttons? So there's going to be a start, a restart, and a disconnect. And there will only ever be one button showing, but there will be like different uses. Start and restart are practically the same thing. That could be one button. Disconnect is kind of different. So let me make it at least 2 buttons. Set the font again, as always. Oh, come on. I'll just put this H center wide. Yeah, that's not really what I want. Say center, center. What if I put like all 3 buttons in the same spot, but only make one of them visible? Well, or at least 2 buttons in the same spot. So start button, and then sit button. I'm basically trying to come up with what is the laziest way I can do this. That's I'm going to spend all my energy trying to be as lazy as possible. Disconnect. Or do we need a disconnect button? So if you're a client and you've connected, you can just close the window. Just close the window. Yeah, who cares? We don't need it. It's the laziest option ever. Don't do it. Okay. So the HUD's gonna need a little script. And we're gonna have a signal for start. And I think this stuff's all gonna start out hidden. We're gonna have a function for show message, where we say take some text and we set it on our message node, and of course make our message node visible. And we're gonna have a equivalent hide message, and we'll just use these 4 different things throughout the game to show messages. And then we just got to connect to these start buttons, pressed signal, and then we're just going to echo that back up. We're going to emit the start signal. So it's not really doing anything, it's just ensuring like proper encapsulation of the HUD, so we don't have the HUD reaching out of the HUD to muck around with other scenes, and we don't have other scenes reaching into the HUD to muck around with it. So we'll emit our start signal, has no arguments, save the HUD. That's good enough for a HUD. Let's add it to our main scene. How are the HUD and the connection screen going to line up? I should probably make sure they line up at least without overlapping, in case I accidentally show one without hiding the other. So the HUD is everything hidden right now. Let's show those things. How come we can't see it? Oh, I need to save it after making those things visible. That's thing number 1. All right. That totally doesn't line up good. Do I care? I don't particularly care. I mean, I could make the start button down a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. So I think that means we increase the top. So maybe let's go 50. And I have to do some more basic math. I'm just bad at basic math. So negative 50 minus negative 27. Will it do that? No, that didn't work right. So what did I add to negative 27 to get to 50? I added 27 and I added 50. So then I need to add that number to this other 27. Right? And then this bottom should actually be 104. Does it even care? Godot doesn't seem to care. Let's save this. There. They at least don't overlap in case I accidentally show them both at the same time. Let's make these invisible. Let's go over here. The connection screen is going to start out visible, I guess, although it's going to make it a pain to work on this. I'll make it invisible and show it in the main script when it starts. So that's the first thing we'll do. We'll do connection, canvas layer connection screen visible equals true. All right. So to get started, the connection screen is shown, and then someone's got to click serve. So let me connect those signals. Oh my gosh. I've been streaming, but I forgot to hit record. I was going to record this for YouTube too. I think I'm just not going to do it for YouTube. It's going to be a long video because I'm going to be game jamming all day. So I don't want to have to upload a 8-hour video. That'd be crazy. All right. So serve actually gets a port integer. And this code I am just literally going to copy from my Battle Pong game because I copied and pasted it from the documentation in the first place. So I don't think that's too much cheating. Connect screen. Nope, wrong thing. Vim main GD. So this magic incantation, these 3 lines, is what I copied from the docs last time. So this junk we don't need, that's specific to Battle Pong. This is the number of people we want to accept, and I guess 3 because we're not including self. Self is a player 2. The server itself is a player 2. We're going to need a players array. Is it an array? Or is it a dictionary? Let's call it a dictionary. And then we're going to go... Because, yeah, we're going to want to keep some information about the players. We'll say players... Oh no, we're not doing that yet. This is when they click connect. This is not when they connect. So they click connect, and what do we need to do? We need to say HUD show message, waiting for players, which is the default message, but whatever. I don't want to be depending on the default. And of course, we need to hide the connection screen. Is there a hide method? I always do visible equals when I want it to be visible or not. So we're waiting for players, and then we just chill. I think we need to keep track of whether we've started or not yet. I wonder if we can do that with Godot's like pause system though. I've never actually used it, any of the pause stuff in Godot. Pausing games. All right. In most games, it is desirable at some point to interrupt the game to do something else, such as taking a break or changing options. However, this is not as simple as it seems. The game might be stopped, but it might be desirable that some menus and animations continue working. Okay. Oh, interesting. So we set the tree to paused, but then there's an ability to like whitelist nodes as not getting paused. This sounds complicated. I don't think we need to mess with this for our simple game jam game here. I'm just gonna let it be for now. I'll figure out how we kick off the game a little bit further down the line. Sorry, I keep looking over to see if anyone's chatted at me. Has anyone chatted with me yet? No one's chatted at me yet. So the next thing we need to... actually, I'm going to test this. We've been writing a lot of stuff. Let's make sure, at least even this far, that it starts waiting for connections, that everything does what it's supposed to do. Nope. Oh, because I kept changing the type of node on the connection screen, so its script is inheriting from the wrong parent. This is actually a node 2D. So that seems good. Let's try again. Hey, we have some menu here. We're going to click serve. And what's the problem? Invalid. Oh, again, because I changed that script back and forth. I bet it's like I left the, yeah, I left this canvas layer parent in here. Let's get rid of that. And try again. Serve, waiting for players. And let's just check, like, at the OS level, if that port is listening. So we'll do sudo netstat lnp grep 112233. No? Really? Godot is listening on 6007. Maybe I did a number that was too big. Oh yeah, I totally did, like, by a digit. Let's, okay, well, how about we do 12233? That seems fine. Lower than the max of a 16-bit number. Okay, well, let's close. I saw it for a second. Close that one and start this again. We'll click serve, and let's make sure it's waiting on the port that we think it is. 12233. There it is. This Godot is still running though. What the heck? What the heck Godot is that? I thought I closed the other one. So I closed this one. Interesting. I wonder if Godot has like a side channel that it does. Well. Alright, so we have it letting the player start be the server, listening on the port. Now we need to do the client to connect to that. So let's jump over to main. We're going to grab this connect signal. So on connection screen, connect. And this takes a host, which is a string, and a port, which is an integer. And I'm going to steal this other little bit of code from PONG. connect. Here we go. This is this 3-line magic incantation. So we do this one. So yep, this is being the client, and we're going to do a similar thing. We're going to do why are you yelling at me? Expecting type for argument. Doesn't accept str. Is it string? String is not a valid type. What is the string type called? I thought it was str. Do Godot type hint string. Just give me a list of types here. I just want to know what a string is. String with a capital S. Capital. Alright, string. There we go. Okay, and we want to do canvas layer, connection screen, visible equals false. And we want the HUD to show message waiting for game to start. And there is a signal here. I'm actually going to go to the Godot documentation for networking rather than just copying from PONG. Say Godot high level multiplayer. So there's some signals we need to listen on to know when a player connects and all that. Here we go. So yeah, we're gonna care about these two mainly, and the rest of this stuff is good if you're going to like implement a real multiplayer game and you care about it like working consistently in case of failure. But we don't care. We're making a game jam game. So we're just gonna assume everything's working right, and if it's not, too bad. So we only care about these on player connected, on player disconnected, and I'll put those down here, on player connected, and I think we get a peer ID. And on player disconnected, I think we also get a peer ID. And we just care about those really on the server so that it can make sure that it keeps the state in sync. We don't want a player who disconnected. Oh, sorry for the yawn. Nobody wants to watch yawning on a stream. We just want to make sure that the player doesn't stay there. So, player connects. We want to say players peer ID. And we want to store some information in a dictionary, I think. So I think like we care which player they are, because we're gonna have to like assign different player nodes to each of them. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that yet. But for now, I actually don't know a lot about working with Godot dictionaries, or GD script dictionaries, I should say. GD script dictionary. How do I remove an item from a dictionary? Erase, I guess. Players erase peer ID. So we'll just let that be for a moment. I remember this high-level multiplayer having some ideas about how you would connect the players. Yeah, here, this part. What does this get? Unique network ID. That's interesting. Hey, they're doing a 4-player game. We're doing a 4-player game. Remember this multiplayer game, so in every peer you need to instance one scene for each player connected to it. For a 4-player game, each peer needs to instance 4-player nodes. Correct. So how do you name such nodes? In Godot, nodes will each need to have a unique name. It must also be relatively easy for a player to tell which node represents each player ID. Solution is to simply name the root nodes of the instant player seeds as their network ID. This way they'll have the same name in every peer, and RPC will work great. I would like for RPC to work great. That sounds fabulous. All right. Okay, so this has like, we tell the server we're done configuring. This is interesting. They are using the pause system in the way that they're pre-configuring the game. I don't think we're going to do that unless there's a compelling reason to do it that way. Yeah, we're basically doing what it's showing here in the docs, though, so this should be relatively straightforward to make happen. Take a look at these work messages on my phone real quick. All right, nothing critical. So let's instance a tank for each player. We'll just start there. We'll get tanks on the screen. So we're gonna do tank equals preload our tank scene. Or is it our tank scene that we want? Yeah. I sometimes get confused of whether I want to load the GD or the scene, but yeah, it's the scene I want to load. So all these players connect. The game hasn't started yet. Do I create them, the tanks for them when they connect, or let's just do it when they connect. We'll just do it when they connect. So this player connects, and we're going to put some stuff in a dictionary. I guess tank. How do I do literal dictionaries in GDScript? Oh, like Python. They look like Python dictionaries. Okay, so tank. Then I want to do tank instance. And do I really want to do it that way though? Hang on. Let me. Wait. I want to make the tank everywhere. Does this get called everywhere? Okay, hang on. Reorganize this code a tiny bit. But also, I want to just print, we'll say player connected. Pure ID. This way, I'll be able to see if this gets called on every client or just on the server, or what the deal is. Because I need for the server and all of the clients to create a tank for their own version of the game. And then I need to do this like self peer ID business, which I don't like naming my variables like that, so I won't name it like that, but we'll call it like my ID. Or no. This is hang on. I think we want to say tank set name string peer ID. Yeah, the self stuff is when you're configuring yourself, but you won't get an on player connected for yourself, right? Maybe I should do something more like this where it has like a pre-configure game step. But let's just see that this works. Let's just see that this works, or at least breaks in a logical way. What did I mess up? Indent error. Oh, because I copy and pasted this. Okay, so serve. And then I'm going to jump over here. Let's go back to build tanks. And we'll start a client in this one. We'll say connect. Hey, some tank got created over here. So we're getting a little bit forward. Something too that I want to do is I want to have like predefined locations for each of the players to start. Let me set that up really quick. We're going to make a child node here, just like a normal node. Typing in the wrong window. A normal node 2D. And this is going to be players. Move that in here. And we're going to put like a position 2D at each space on the map that we want the players to start. And then when they connect, we're going to create the players as children of those positions, I think. We don't have to do that though, do we? We just copy the position. I don't know. All I know is I want them to be position 2Ds because I don't want to yeah, I think I don't want them to be child of those positions. I just want to place them in the editor. I don't want to place them like in code. So we'll say player start positions, and we'll add some position 2Ds here. Duplicate this a couple of times. And we'll have, we'll call it player 1, player 2, player 3, and player 4. And let me move these around. So player 1 will start kind of in this corner. Oop, that was player 4. Well, player 1 will start kind of in this corner. Player, how did I get player 3? Okay, where's the move? Move. Player 1, there we go. Player 2, I want to start in like the opposite corner. So if there's just two players, they'll like kind of be on the opposite sides of the arena. And player 3, let's say he takes the upper right corner, and player 4, she can have this space here. There. Yeah. I don't know that we're necessarily ready to use that, but let's just get back into the kind of overall workflow here. In the main script, we have players are connecting. The server gets this waiting for players. And right, I wanted to see what values we get for on-player connected. So let's just try that. I'll actually pay attention this time. So this one's the server. This one is a client. And cool. So player connected gets called on the client for the server. And it gets called on the server, obviously, for the client. So cool, it always gets called. So we can build up our players array and kind of know what's going on. But do we even... If we switch to another kind of workflow where we don't do anything until the server says, hey, it's time to go, we can have the server collect this information and then just like send it to the clients, which also kind of makes sense because then the server gets to decide things like who's player 1, who's player 2, who's player 3. Maybe I'll do it like that. I don't know. It's good to know this. I might put a comment in here just to remind myself. The signal is emitted even on clients when they connect with peer ID equals 1 for the server. Okay. But getting back to that workflow, so this says waiting for players. I want to say if get tree is network service. This is a little trick I learned when working on Battle Pong, that this is how you can tell if you're the server. So we'll say players. Yeah, we'll just add some kind of thing here. And we're just going to comment the rest of this crap out because I don't know if this is really how we want to do it yet. Ooh, I think there's a way to like comment out all lines in Godot, isn't there? Toggle comment, Control K. Okay, so if we are the server, we're going to build up this player's dictionary. And if players size is greater than 1, no, greater than 0, then we want to change the message into the HUD. Set message. Why isn't it giving me nice autocomplete? Come on. Show message. We're going to just give a number. We're going to say players size. We have to cast that to a string. Out of 4 players. Oh. We got to keep track of ourselves in the players list too. It's connected. And then we want to show the start button. And do we want to pass an argument? No. Let's go to HUD. We're going to have func show start button. I think we're going to take an optional argument, which is like how we will switch this start button from start to restart later. Visible equals true, and then I think we're also have like a hide all, where we're going to hide the message. And we're going to hide the start button, because we'll need to hide all when we actually start the game. So Back to the main script. So we say the number of players. We also need to be sure to record ourselves. When we decide that we're the server, we add a entry to the players. Oh, you know what? We need people's names. I want to know whose tank I'm shooting at. We need names, man. Okay, so we'll add something to the players array to represent the server, but like for real, we need names. How are we gonna get those names? If we're the server, we could ask for them. Can we read a variable off the client? I know we can set variables on clients. Can we just like snatch a variable? Our set, but we can't remote read. We'll get that name. We'll get that name because we need it. I don't know who I'm shooting. All right, let's get the connection screen's gonna need to have a name on it. Let's add some more labels. We've got name label, name, and we have to set the font. And then we need a line, something or other, line edit to be name. Set that to, I'm gonna call it random coward as the default text. I just don't want to implement validation. I mean, I want people to put their name in there for sure, but I don't have to implement validation. So let's reorganize this a little bit. We'll put name up at the top, both of these, and then we'll move it kind of over here. Here we'll stay in move mode and grab this piece. Don't forget to set the font on that. I must have. Huh. Don't know why it doesn't expand. Must just be doing things like in slightly wrong order or something. All right, 286.58. 286.58. All right, let's get our. Ooh, random coward just like fits perfectly in that box too. Is that going to confuse people having name at the top? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Jam game. It's jam game. So I need to change these signals. We need to also send name and name. And let's switch over to the main script where we're receiving those signals. And add name, which is string, on both of the signals. And so that's what we'll store here. We'll store name. Oh, and I can't call it just straight up name because isn't that a property on node? Do underscore name, underscore name, underscore name. Although just that. I have no way to get that to the server in the case of. Okay, let me store player name up here. Maybe there's a different way to do this. Maybe we don't have to. No, it does need to end up in the players. I want the server to be in charge, so I think we are going to have it end up in here. Just say player name equals name, and we'll add it straight away. But then how do we get it from... Okay, I guess in whatever prepare, but no, because we need to have it before that happens. The whole point of this is simply to display it. I think. Okay, let's not put it in the players array, because I'm gonna get these weird chicken and egg problems. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. So for now, we're just not going to store anything in there. The client is also going to store player name. And we'll figure out how to get that to the right place later. Okay, let's see if what we got like even remotely works. So now we have serve, and we have connect. Cool. So the server, one person connected, it said 2 of 4 players connected and showed the start button. So we're getting somewhere. If I add some more, 3 of 4, and 4 of 4, will it allow me to connect a 5th? Let's just test that. It just says waiting for game to start. That's interesting. It should have failed in some way, because it didn't get here. Why doesn't it just fail? Is that one of those signals I just declined to implement? Where were those signals? Here we go. Connection failed. Okay. I'll implement the connection failed signal. Maybe actually I'll implement all these signals. They at least make the messages saner and help me understand what's going on. So we'll say unconnected. I don't like the way the documentation named these functions, but whatever. Okay, so those are all client ones. We'll go implement those down here. Oh, this is wrong. Oh, what did I call them again? Unconnected. Okay, so we'll change the way this is displayed. So it's not waiting for game to start. This will say connecting. Let's see what that message was on my phone really quick. Cool. So they click, they get connecting, they get connected, and it says waiting for game to start. If the connection failed, I want to call that on connection. Connection failed. Why are you unexpected indent? Oh, because I've copied from the docs. Yeah. Okay. On connection failed. All right, we're going to show a message. It'll be like failed to connect, and then we are going to show the connection screen again. So it's good that I made it so they could show at the same time, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to do that. So, and on server disconnected. Server disconnected. So you'll know if you get disconnected. We'll look after players a little bit. Disconnected from server. I don't know what we do in that case. We'll show the message and just kind of let things be. So let's try this again with connecting way too many clients and seeing if that fails a little better. So that's player 2. Here comes player 3. And here comes player 4. Holy crap, it's already 12:30. This day is flying by. All right. Connecting. I wonder if there's a timeout. Let's wait a minute. Maybe not a minute. Wait a little bit. There's much better messaging though. So waiting for game to start for the ones who connected successfully, and at least endless connecting, maybe failed to connect if it times out eventually. Awesome. Oh, failed to connect, and it totally overlapped with the... I thought we fixed that. Oh, because I added name. Yeah, now that we have name, I have to realign those a little bit. Let's do that. Okay, so we have to go to the connection screen. We have to unhide. No, not the connection screen. We have to go to the HUD, and we have to unhide all this stuff and look at it on here. Let's just grab the connection screen elements and lower them. Not quite. I'll lower the connection screen items a little bit more. All right, that's almost good, and I just need to lower the start button on the HUD, which I do with these margin here. Let's go maybe 100, and that makes this 154, even though Godot doesn't seem to care. Save that, look at main, don't quite line up, a little further down, say 150. Now I should probably be orienting this from the bottom rather than the middle, but it's too far. There, now it lines up, looks okay. Cool. And I don't think I need to retest that. Things just line it up. Oh, I gotta rehide these things that are supposed to be hidden. All right. So we're connecting. We still need to figure out the workflow for creating all of the players. But I think as far as UI, we're set. Like all the UI is done. Or at least we're gonna need a health bar somewhere. But other than that, the UI is done. So I just need to figure the workflow of creating all the tanks. And this is probably going to be the hardest part of doing multiplayer, is just figuring out how to get everything created in all of the instances with the right names. And then after that, it's just sending RPC calls, and that's usually easy, at least from my one experience with a network multiplayer game in Godot, my battle Pong. So let's get back to that. We need to connect to this start button, because that's what's going to kick off everything. Oh, this actually makes me think too, we forgot one tiny detail here. I'm going to connect this on HUD start, that's fine. But when players disconnect, okay. So say, like if players has, we'll remove it, and then, I'll just add it to do, because I don't know how to tell if the game started yet. We'll say like if game hasn't started yet, change message about connected players. Okay, so the server hits start. And then we want to do like our pregame. We'll do remote sync func pregame. And basically what we're doing here, okay, I'm going to add just a variable for like started. Say like game started false. And pregame needs to run on everything. So we're going to say RPC pregame. And that's it, right? So I kind of think this pregame is going to need 2 rounds. So the server gathered up a list of peers, which has very little information in it. I feel so the server has to decide which player each player is. And does that matter? We also need to know when every client has finished its pregame setup. Okay, let's go back to these docs. These docs seem to be doing it kind of a good way. So they are keeping a dictionary of player info, which has a name and a favorite color. How does that get distributed though? So all the players call register player. And what does register player do? Maybe we got to do it like this too, because then we end up with the player info populated everywhere. I'm just going to copy the way that that this docs are doing it. So I'll say player info. I'm going to call it players. I don't care. I don't care. I already called it players. I don't need to copy their variable name. And so then on player connected, we're going to call this register player function. So this is, okay, I'm going to collapse all these, or fold all of these functions so I can just get oriented here. This stuff we don't need. Oop. Fold you. So kind of up here we have the getting connected. We have these sort of like error methods. I feel like register player kind of fits in over here. I want it to be sort of chronological, kind of, not remote sync, just plain remote. Register player, and we're passing the player name. Yeah, say player name, or I'll just say name. And we say players. Oh, we got to get the peer ID. That was this bunch of lines. Let me just copy and paste this crap. We'll modify it a little bit. Okay, so I think we want to have ourselves in this too, if we're the this looks like it's explicitly not recording self. Okay, so on player connected. RPC ID. So I would send my info to it. I think I need to put this logic not here, but in that new method. So if this is a network server, we don't do this, so I would just erase what we just set. And if players is greater than 0, then we see this many players connected. We need to also put ourselves in the list, though. And that we can do. Okay, so RPC ID, right? RPC ID to the peer ID. We're saying, hey, peer who just connected, register your player with my player name. Okay, I'm registering myself with each person that connects. And if I am the server, I need to also put myself in here. Everyone else needs to put themselves in there, even the client, right? Even the client needs to do this, I think. Does the client know its ID at this point? Maybe we don't add ourselves yet. Maybe we add ourselves at the very end. So that means in this like player count, we need to increment it by 1 because our self is not going to be in there. Okay. So then we end up with an array of all the other players and our player name in a separate variable, but not ourselves in the players list. Why is this given a parse error? Unexpected indent, okay. So this will basically get us where we were before, but just rearranged a little bit. I guess everyone now knows everyone's name. So when we actually start the game, pre-configure, done configuring. Okay. So starting the game. Let's start probably start the game. So then we say Godot tells, or the server tells everyone to pre-configure, which means setting up my player and setting up the other players. That all seems fine. I don't think I want to do this business where it's setting the network master to the peer though, to the client. I don't know, I guess I'll see about that in a little bit. I think I'm going to steal this pre-configure game. Pre-configure game. RPC. Pre-configure game. I mean, the server has to configure itself just like a client does. Yeah, okay. I can make this work. We'll grab the self-peer ID, copy. And we won't call it this, we'll call it like my ID. And we're going to create, yeah, we'll need a variable to hold my player. Here. Trying to make my variables sorted in a way that makes sense, but that's good enough. That's good enough. Just don't want to get lost when I go up there. So we need to create a tank for my player. And that's the basic stuff here. My player equals tank instance. And we'll add it as a child. And setting the name is the most important thing here. Set name, my ID. I feel like we should have a container for players like they're doing here. They have like a players container. Let's do that. So we're actually adding my player to the players not players, start positions, players. And I think the server at the very end is going to have to move everyone to their right spots. Which might look a little weird, but who cares? Or maybe we figure out their right spots in here when we're RPC calling. That's actually possible. I'll put a little to do about that. Maybe figure out start positions and pass them out in pre-configure, and pass them out in this RPC call, something like that. Okay, so this will create my tank, and then I need to create all of the other tanks. Yeah, we don't want to make network master for those things. It just seems weird to me. I mean, maybe it ends up being more responsive doing it that way, but let's not do it for now. So, other player in players, and we'll say var actually we'll do this just pure ID. Other player goes tank instance and set name, add it as a child. All right, so that should create all the tanks for everyone. We also have the names of these players, but we don't have anything to do with them yet. Yeah, this could also be a thing we pass out here. Figure out start positions and names and pass them out here. I don't know. Got to get over this bootstrapping phase, and then we can make sense of this. Okay, so this, and then it has it RPCing back to the server saying it's done configuring. So, okay, let's rearrange this a little bit. Players, and I'll have another variable var players ready. Is this an array versus a, how are they doing it in the docs? Yeah, doing it as an array. Let's see what that message was on my phone. Phones. Nothing important, I don't think. Yep. Nothing important. Okay. Back to hacking here. So pre-configured, done pre-configuring. Let's say remote. Let's say done pre-configure game. Trying to name these a little bit better than the docs. I don't know if I'm pulling it off. Or done pre-configuring. I like these asserts. I mean, not that it does us that much good in a jam game, but it seems like a good idea. Of course, I have to rename all of these for the way I changed the variable names. Search things are doing more or less what we're expecting them to be doing. Then we need to add the player to the players ready, and that same if players ready dot size equals players size, then we're ready to rock. And then it's doing RPC, so it's telling everyone to start, which, yeah, at some point we gotta tell everyone to start doing their thing. All right, let's see how far we get with this. Oh, I need to actually call this done configuring one. So we need to say if my ID does not equal 1, that's so if I'm not the server, then we tell the server RPC ID 1 done pre-configure game, and we pass my ID. Yeah, okay, so we need to tell everyone to start post configure game. We'll call it that. And we'll do this remote sync post configure game. And what do we want to do when we start the game? We want to hide all of the crap in the HUD. Hide all. And we need to make sure to call that RPC post configure game. Wow, all that boilerplate, so much boilerplate. So I think we can test that this is working by serving. We can connect one client. I don't care that we have lots of clients. And then we will, ooh, what did I just do? Misclick there. Ooh, there's a tank up there. Let's start over. I messed that all up. I have too many instances running. I've gotten totally lost. I'm just gonna hide this big thumbnail thing. Okay, let's serve and then do the client. Waiting for the server, just waiting for the game to start. We click start, and then badness happens. Pre-configure game is not allowed from 1. Mode is 0. Master is 1. That's interesting. No error here. All right, so pre-configure game. Oh, renaming things didn't quite catch them all. All right, let's get out of here. Get out of here. Start this again. Serve. Get a client going. Connect and start. All right, we got an error. Oh, interesting. I have to convert it to a string. Was that in the docs? Did the docs cast it to a string? It did. I just failed to do that. Here too. All right, let's close out this client and restart the server. Let's connect and start. The messages went away. I don't see our tanks though. I think we should be seeing some tanks before I at least put a tank up in the window there. So on start, we pre-configured the game, which should create a tank, which should set a name, which should add it to players. forget what the... Did I already close it? There's like a way I'm supposed to be able to see what's running in the scene currently. Here we go. This is what I want to see. Players. We do have the tanks. Where the heck are they? We have some speed. We have some velocity. I didn't make... Or that's a member. Okay, it's not exported. Its position is like way over here. Oh, did we forget to turn off gravity? Physics 2D. Gravity. No gravity. Thank you. Alright, let me get rid of this client. What I'm expecting is to see two tanks sitting on top of each other. Okay. Again, like I saw them for a second. Where'd they go? Why is it way over at this bazillion negative X? Like, doesn't even make sense. So players has no position on it. And this one's like way the heck over here. If I just move it here, now it's visible. I can control it even. But why is it put over there? That's just so weird. Did I accidentally like drag the tank way over to the side or something? No, it's right at 0, 0. That is kind of a mystery. It's not because of gravity. Because now I have it here. I'm going to be setting the start positions to something sane soon. I just don't know why it's not doing this. Okay, well, let's close that out. Disconnected from server. That's fun. Was that a stray one? No, it actually was disconnected from the server. Let's go to the tank. Velocity is 0, and it gets reset every time we do this. Strange. Well, we need to change the player controlled to false here. And then when we're creating my player always needs to be player controlled. Yeah, I think this would be a good time to hand out start positions and pass out names. Yeah, let's do that. On the HUD start, let's put together a list of player names. Player names. Do player start positions. And so here's where we're going to say player names. 1 equals player name. And we're going to loop, or so do we want to randomize who gets which start position? That just sounds complicated. Let's just hand them out in order for now, which means that the server always gets the player start position number 1. Start positions. Player 1 position. And then we'll loop over each of the players, 4 players. How do we do... It's a dictionary. So in GD script, how do we loop over both the key and the value? Dictionary, loop, key, and value. Hey, someone asked this. Wow. So it sounds like this doesn't exist. Okay. So for peer ID in players keys. So then we do and we also need some kind of iterator here. So say player names, peer ID equals players, peer ID, and then player start positions for peer ID equals player start positions, get node player plus a string version of our little I iterator dot position dot position. Stop getting too fancy there, Godot. All right, and then we need to iterate I, and that should set that all up, I think. Oh, I mean global position, right? All right, and then we hand these out. We say player names, actually they don't need the other player names. They should, we might actually not need player names. They might already have that. Yeah, I'm just gonna like, can I print out a dictionary? Will it show up like sane? Players. This might actually, so when we're registering the player, we're registering out everything. Yeah. Okay, I don't think we need player names. I'm just gonna drop that on the assumption that I'm thinking through this code correctly. Player start positions. What do I have wrong up here? Parse error, misplaced new line. Oh, it's because there are no plus plus. Is it plus equals 1? Okay. Very Python-y. All right. So, and then here we'll take player start positions, which is a dictionary. All right, so we even need to set my player's position equals player start positions my ID and then for each of these other players as well, so other player start position equals player start positions my ID and we don't have anything to do with the names, but I think we already have them. I think we're good on that. Let's see if this gets all of our players to the right spots without that weird like -8,000 business that was going on there. So serve And connect, start. Okay, well, we created 2 tanks. They're not at the right positions though. Or at least not in all cases. Because like on the server, they both appeared here. On this one, they didn't appear nowhere. Oh, I put my ID twice. This shouldn't be my ID. It should be peer ID. That's why we both ended up in the same spot. Okay. Where's that client I gotta kill here? So let's say serve, start the client. We will connect, start. Weird. Oh, okay, no, that is right. So it created this tank here and probably the other tank way in the other spot, but it's not sharing the new position data. Cool. So that's probably the next thing we need to make happen. And actually, like, player controlled, I think we need a setter for this on the tank, because the tank also needs a camera. Or do we put camera on main and say we want it to follow my player? Let me look up. I needed some of those docs. Let me Godot high level multiplayer. We'll open that one up. And Godot camera 2D follow target. I want to do it the other way though. I don't want to make it a child. Yeah, tracking an external node with camera 2D. This is what I want. Or do I dynamically create the camera as a child? I thought there was a way I can just tell it to like track a particular node. If anyone in chat knows how to do that, that would be awesome. But otherwise, I'll just create the camera dynamically in code and attach it to my player, whoever that is. So yeah, I would do that here. I would do camera equals camera 2D new, I think. Or do I do instance? I think I do new. And then I want to set the limits. Limit top equals 0. Camera limit left equals 0. And I need to set the limit right to be the width of the tile map. I'm not exactly sure how to do that. So let's say Godot get tile map width. How to get the size of a tile map? Similar question. Get used rect. That's what I want. I don't understand why this transform 2D needs to be in here. Tile map cell size X. Tile map scale. overly complicated here. But I think I can use cell bounds. Okay, let's try this. Actually, this is a fixed value because I'm not going to be loading other stages. It just seems like it should be so much easier to just grab the width of a whatever. So say tile map. And actually I can make a separate function. That might even be nicer. We'll say create camera. Let's move this crap in there. So we start here, and then we say var tile map rect equals tile map get used rect, and then we set the camera limit right to tile map cell size X. Do rects have XYZ, or do they have width? What do rects have? Godot rect 2 vectors. Jeez, okay, so size. I want the size vector, I think. Size X. Times hopefully this works. Oh, here, I will do that. I will do that, mobile phone. Okay. Oh, void cannot return a camera. I don't want to return void. I want to return camera 2D. All right, and then my player add child create camera. All right, theoretically this will work. Serve, connect, start. Hey, we're now down by this other tank. The camera bounds seem correct. This one's following my input in this window, and this one is following my input in this window. We're getting there, we're getting there. Let's see if the camera moves as I expect it to. Oh, this tank is painfully slow. All right. So the next thing is I need to synchronize the movements between the two between the server and the client. And the way that I want to do that is the tank we need to send like these values back to the server. So we're going to go RPC ID 1. Actually, we might even want to like not actually do it. We might actually just want to store these values, send them to the server, and then have the server echo it out to everyone else. That'll be slower, and maybe I'll regret that after this turns out to be not super responsive. But we don't want collision to be different between How about we do whatever's easier, and then if it sucks, we change it. Sounds like a good game jam way to go here. So what is easier? Letting it do its own thing. It'd just be so weird having the collision happen both on the client and on the server and on all the other clients. Okay, so let's make some variables here. We're gonna do it all on the server, even if it turns out to be slow. That's my whatever's easier plan. Player rotation, var player vector. How am I going to do move and slide? I don't know what the delta is. Maybe I don't. Maybe letting them all do their own thing is the easiest. So we would say like puppet, func, update, remote player, something like that. And we're going to take rotation, velocity, no, rotation and position. And this can't, okay, so this would be player rotation, player position, and turret rotation. And then this ends up becoming just rotation equals player rotation, player position, or just position. Position equals player position, and turret rotation, or turret hub rotation equals turret rotation. And then I think we do have to do the thing I was resisting doing before, which is setting the individual clients to be the master for their own individual node. But that's in the docs, so we will copy that out of there. And then here I'm just going to do RPC update remote player with all our new values. So rotation, position, and the turret hub rotation. All right, so this will only work once that puppet declaration doesn't match the current player. So we need to fix that up in main. In here I was doing And here the docks we're doing. Here, set network master. That's what we need to do. We need to make sure each peer is the network master for its individual node. Position at child, so put it right below name. Set network master ID, and down here I'll do other player set network master peer ID. All right, did I leave any of those running? Nope. Now, if this works, we should see the movements of the tanks updated on each individual client. So I start. So I'm gonna have to actually drive this tank very slowly over to that other tank. Whoa, I'm going in circles. Whoa, I'm out of control. Okay, here we go. Coming. He's coming. Ah, there he is. Okay. And if I go over here, I can drive this tank around and get it over here by this guy. And if I look over here, they're together. Woo! 2 tanks hanging out. All right, this is Git committable. I'm gonna commit this to Git. I'll see if I can get one of my coworkers to try it out with me. Which could have a whole series of other problems. Like it might just have like trouble connecting over the internet or something. But it's doing things. All right, so before I do that, let me just go through our to-do here. We're gonna add a done section for a feeling of accomplishment. Still to do. All right, so things we still need to do. Each tank needs a different color. That should be easy. I can do that by having the main tank scene and making child scenes for player 1, 2, 3, 4. Those can have set colors. I think that actually will make it a little bit easier. Each tank needs its name displayed. So that's another kind of boilerplate thing that I didn't consider initially, but I need to know who I'm shooting, and then we get down to the meat of it with bullets, health, damage, and the loop to restart. So, cool. Let me take a look at what we got in Git. Let me exit out of here so I don't accidentally commit a swap file. Actually, I'm going to add to my git ignore swap files so I don't have to worry about that. There. Let me just open the swap file just to make sure that is working. Cool. Doesn't show my to-do anymore. Let's add all this stuff. Oh, that's a lot of changes. That's too much to even review. Yeah. Cool. Let's commit it. Yeah. Got network. I'll say got connection and game start working. And I'll push that, which like I set up earlier in my GitLab CI build, that should, yeah, it's building right now. It should generate the Windows, Mac, Linux versions, and then I will ping somebody to try and run this with me over the network. If anyone on chat is interested in that, let me know. I can put my IP out there, see if we can get connected. I'm gonna have to like mess with my router though, aren't I? Because like I'll have to forward this random ass port to me. I wonder if there's a cheat for that. Expose random port to internet. Yeah. Servio. So 80 and 3000. I don't want to do 80, but I'll do my 12233 to, I guess, 12233, right? Or do I always connect to 3000? I'm not sure. Maybe I have this backwards. Well, I always want one. I want the same port on both sides. Okay, so Servio net 12233. That should allow random folks to connect. Okay, let me get on my work Slack here. Hey, anyone wanna try or wanna help me test my network game? And let's see how GitLab's doing. Cool. I guess I'll grab the Windows and the Mac one. I don't know, Arturo. I think he was Windows. I'm just gonna quick ask him. Download the Windows build. I will also download. Let's get rid of this crap. Download. All right, I'll send the Mac build out too. Maybe I'll just give the link. I'm just going to show them how to get the builds. Making a quick screenshot to share. All right. All right. I'll send them the Servio information here. Why is it going to serve just like ServioNet? Like, do I get that port for only me? That seems... Request a particular subdomain. That's interesting. Maybe I'll request a particular subdomain because that would be more fun. Huh, didn't give me a subdomain. It's just doing the main thing. All right, let me start up a server here. All right, let's see if this works. The info is out. The info's out in the world. Generic TCP forwarding. Oh, this might not work because it's using TCP and not UDP. We'll see. It's not coming through. All right, let's try this different. So Servio isn't working. I think it's because it's TCP and we need UDP. Let me. I think that's me. Oh, of course, Twitch viewers cannot see my other screen, or I'm trying to work this out here. Well, we got one player. All right, I'm just gonna try this with the one person with the one person who's able to connect. It works. It's I don't know why this is so cool. It's so stupid. This is like 3 hours of Godotting. I feel happy about it. Okay, that's awesome. Uh, Worked really over the internet, and yeah, Arturo, who is playing with me in there, is in Colombia, and I'm in the Midwest of the United States. So it worked even over a long distance. That was cool. Okay, so we got the tanks connecting. We need to get the tanks different colors. We need to get the names displayed. We need to add some bullets and some health and stuff. Um, I um, ooh, there was me for a second. I need to make myself like a BRB slide for my stream because I need to run to the bathroom really quick. Um, can I make that super fast? Oh wow, you even get to watch while I'm making it. Image, media, scene, text. Is it really? Be right back. Oh, how come that didn't get any bigger? Did I break it? I broke it. I broke it. I broke it. OBS hates me. How do I unbreak it?